Hello,
Hey, Tren.
how are you?
I'm not too shabby.
Not too shabby?
Not
That's
too
good.
shabby. Yeah, yeah.
That's good. Now, we're the tarot dealers.
We are the tarot
Yeah,
dealers.
I'm Tren and this is Lou.
Hey.
We're the tarot dealers. And I have to say, because I always forget, you can contact us if you'd like to send your messages, your feedback, your questions. You can contact us on all the social medias, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube.
Yeah,
I remember.
she remembers YouTube.
And our email address is thetarotdealers@gmail.com. So send us your feedback, send us your questions. We'd love to know.
Absolutely. So we are just two old ducks, really, who love talking tarot.
Tarot.
So different topics, different conversations every week. We might throw some cards and see what the message for today is.
See what we need to know about this episode.
Yes,
What do we need to know? What can we expect? What do we need to focus on?
Focus, yeah.
Oh, not today. And what do we need to know? Oh, Eight of Cups. Now, using the light seers. It is a very lovely card, but it's very different to the Rider-Waite, isn't it? Because the cups are quite literally sinking in here. So they're all under the water. So I wonder if
So they are.
they are. And there's only one above. One is still, I suppose, floating. So are we
I'll be buggered.
putting a lot of, it's funny what we were talking about before, are we letting go of a lot of stuff?
Yeah.
And walking away from old patterns, walking into the new with that sunlight right in the background. We're walking into the new because we are leaving an awful lot behind.
It's the beginning of a new day, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's kind of like what that feels like, yeah.
And we have put a lot of the cups underneath the water, so we're not going to go looking for them again. We're not going to drag them up again.
That's right. I feel like I'm just going to hold this
Yeah.
up. And for those of you who are listening, if you have the Light Seers deck, you will see like the body of water here. But then as she's walking on the land, you see her footprints, right? So to me, that is about the impression or the past that you've walked will leave the impression, or you've learned about, or you've left part of your legacy behind. Like it's, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As you head into the future, like you've made your mark. I feel
quite literally, haven't
you?
Yeah,
made your mark and let that other stuff go, and now you're headed into this new direction and made that mark. Yeah, I hope that makes sense.
Yeah.
Kind of the message that I'm getting for that.
Exactly.
So
I had not noticed the footprints, but they are definitely there. It's almost like you have come out, well, quite literally, you've come out of the depths.
Come out of the depths,
You've come out of the depths, you have walked away, come out and up out of the depths and left behind an awful lot that you just don't need anymore.
Yeah. And because the cups are about emotion, right? So letting go of that old emotion, and with emotion often comes the old bullshit stories that you tell yourself,
tell
right?
yourself.
Some crap, right? So even though that's not a sword, it still kind of speaks
into
into that.
It still does talk about that, doesn't it? But it's very much about leaving stuff behind and not going back to get it out.
Yeah, not going back, right?
Not going back, because we go, I left that behind, but I'm just going to go back and get some of it.
Yeah. No. I'm just going to recall that. Yeah, no.
No. It was purposely, we've left it behind.
Left it behind.
It's a big purpose. So we are now going to look at what May is bringing. Ooh. What does May 2025 have in store for us as a collective?
5th month.
Where the hell has this year gone?
What the fuck?
It's like we were just, I don't know. I know we say all the time that the years are going quickly, but this is speeding.
Yeah.
It is speeding.
Absolutely. Yeah. So anyway, we'll see what May has to say.
So like always, I will do 4 cards across and then 4 cards. So 4 rows of 4 that represent roughly the 4 weeks of the month. So we'll just see what we
need. Even if it's a 5-week, which I think May is, where it's just covering the month. Yeah. Just to see what we need to know for the month of May. What do we need to bring into our awareness or bring into our focus for the month of May 2025 for the whole collective, for all of our higher school. So let's just see. Right, here we go.
Oh, we're starting off with the King of Swords. We're starting off quite masculinely, aren't we?
Aren't we?
Looking at that, especially the first month, there's
The first
the
couple of weeks.
first week, yeah, couple of weeks, we really are three. It's going to end there. We need another row. We really are, because we start off with the King of Swords and the Emperor, and then straight away we have the World. So it really is, we are making a lot of decisions concerning ourselves, really concerning ourselves. We're changing, we're not putting up with what we have done previously. And again, that ties in with the Eight of Cups. We are walking away from an awful lot of stuff that just is not working. Oh my goodness, Lou's just pointed out we have the Eight of Cups in the second week. Can you see it? Yeah, so we're starting off with the King of Swords and the Emperor, the World, and the Seven of Wands. So I do think we are really putting an end to a lot of things. It's purpose. We're not waiting for things to finish. We're coming out and saying, I'm not doing that anymore with the King and the Emperor, and with the World gun. It's done. And with the Seven, it's like I'm realizing that I'm on top of things. I've made the right decisions. I really don't care what other people think. And that's a big change for most of us, to let go of what other people think about us or our decisions or our opinions or whatever. It's just like, yeah, just bugger off, please. not taking in, not even worrying about you, because we then move into the devil. So I think because we've got the devil, even though we've ended a lot of things, we've pulled our power back and we've stood our ground, we might fall back into a little bit, oh shit, what the hell have I done with that devil? Like we get back into our head. So, and straight away, I've got the King of Cups right beside it. So we might be really up in our head. Our emotions may be a bit wobbly for a time, until we come out with the Queen of Swords and just go, bugger this for a joke. I'm doing this. I was right in the first place. I am doing this. I am right, because again, that's where the Eight of Cups is there. So, and it's really funny because they've both come out. Eight of Cups is really definitely saying that we are definitely putting a lot of stuff behind us, a lot of stuff, and sticking to our guns, basically, because then the sun comes out and just going, it's almost like the rest of the world is going, yeah, you were right. Yes, we're agreeing with you, even though you go, well, I told you so. I said I was doing it, I told you so. And it's like, you know how we get that bravado, oh yes, I did, and then we go, oh shit. But with the Hermit, I'll just go back in to make sure I was right. I'm just going to go back into my own little world, in my little shell, and go, yeah, I am right, I'm good, I was right. It's funny because we've got a lot of, because then we go with the Queen again, a Queen of Pentacles this time, and she's straight underneath the Queen of Swords. So it's very much about saying what you need to say and not going back, but very much taking care of yourself and focusing on your new decisions, your new way forward. It's very much about you finding that balance again, very much finding the balance of sticking to your guns like you have done in the first couple of weeks of the month, but taking care of that. It's like that self-care has to balance with that power that you found within yourself. And got the Chariot right beside the Queen of Pentacles. You definitely are, whether any doubts you've had back with the Devil, with the Hermit, with the Chariot, you are on the right track. You're the one in control. You're the one directing your life now. You're not allowing other people or, I'm not trying to say that, not the rest of the world to tell you what to do. You're not allowing that anymore. You're just going, no, I'm feeling what's right for me. I'm working out, does it feel right for me before I go along with something? If it doesn't feel right, I'm going off in this direction because this feels right for me. I'm the one now taking control of my life.
It's very interesting because Tren's take is like a personal take on how the collective energy for us is, right? And I'm looking at this, and my take is I'm kind of looking more at like the world stage take, a little bit different. So my take on this is that Start of May, I think we're going to see some shifts in the masculine energies for sure. Now, that might be the leaders on the stage, so we might start to see some shifts there. We might start to see a little bit of argy-bargy and some pushback from the stage, center stage. So your world leaders, that kind of thing. I can see some argy-bargy going on there because we have the seven of wands, which speaks into that. And then I feel like there will be this attempt, I would say, to try and control again. So you squash, control, limit. I can see that, and I got to tell you that there's no fucking way
not going to work.
That is going to wash for this. So it might be like the first parts of May might be a little bit argy-bargy, lots of, old ways of, top-down speak.
Yeah, it's interesting because in Australia we're having a federal election in the first week of May.
So I think we're going to see some changes here, and there is a woman here who seems to be leading the way, which I think would be good. So that potentially, if I look at that from a world perspective, then we're looking at women in fact, or feminine energy, put it that way, which is the healing and the healing thing, right? And the nurturing. So there's a lot more of that coming through, and we've had to take time out and go within ourselves to be able to shine that light. So it's almost like there's two timelines in this.
It's kind of is,
it's almost like there's this timeline and then there's that timeline. So there's definitely where we're going to be using our wisdom to say, well, this is how we know what grows and nurtures and all of that. So it might be a space for like those nurturing leaders where they can actually come to the front. Come to the front and say, this is the way forward, this is where we're going, a bit of a new direction. Might be a few internet issues or a last-ditch effort to look back and have something how it was. Because there's a little bit of the past here. Now, the past is definitely, we've absolutely learned from it, let me say, because judgment here is like, yep, we're going to rebirth that. And what leads it is the high priestess.
Yes, he's sort of right at the end. I can see, because with the past, because we've got the Page of Swords and the Six of Cups. To me, both of them, definitely the page, looking back. So maybe after all that, we are sort of starting to go, well, what about, what if we do this? And then judgment comes along and goes, no, you're not doing that. We're bringing in this new era.
Absolutely. Time for a rebirth and a reinvention, you might say. So that's what I see from like the stage kind of thing, but definitely what you were talking about from the personal part.
Personal part. I think we are revisiting. Yes, we are revisiting going back into the past, but we're going back into the past to let a lot go and bring forward what we need to keep.
Absolutely.
And let go of because that's when with the judgment comes along and goes, yep, we're now rising up into a new era. Personally, as well as globally, we can't just expect the world to move. Bloody hell. She's just
flipped a card. By itself.
Page of Swords.
Can't fucking make that shit up. Seriously. It's a hashtag. I seriously cannot make that shit up.
And then we end with the High Priestess, which again is very much, maybe everything is not quite revealed just yet, but we are preparing for the reveal.
Oh, yeah.
We are preparing, and we are knowing that it's coming.
Yeah.
It's not like we're completely in the dark anymore. We know there's more with both of those. Judgment and the High Priestess side by side. We know there's more things that are going to be revealed, to come into the light.
That's right. And that's like from a personal perspective as well. So there's like this awareness of self, I feel.
Very much.
As well as like what happens on the stage. But it's interesting because Tren will take a photo of these now before we pack them up. And it, to us, looks very distinctly like there's two separate timelines. Like, here's how it is, and then
it's almost like the first 2 weeks of May is going to be, argy-bargy and a few arguments and tussles and this and that, and then the second half of the month is just like, oh, we're good.
Absolutely. And it's a new direction, and it's nicer and calmer and like, what? How does it go from that to that? But
It does.
Yeah,
So
apparently
just,
it does.
just be aware of how you're feeling.
Yeah, maybe there's a big shift for you personally.
Yeah.
There's the you before and the you after, you know, because that,
Yes.
I don't know about you guys, but that's how I find, you know, when I've made some major decisions or I, you know, worked through something, that the realization and aha moments actually lead to, well, there's life before and life after.
After, yeah.
All right, let's see
Let's see what Lou's got to
cards
say.
have to say
Be very
about it.
interesting. See how similar or not they are.
Yeah. So the month of May, 2025. What is it that we need to be aware of? What's going on?
What's going on?
What insights?
Well, they did say that 2025 was going to be quite a challenging year, didn't they?
Oh, God, they did.
Quite a roller coaster ride of a year. So,
Let's have a look.
oh my God. First card she pulled out is the Emperor.
Emperor.
Ah, and we have the Eight of Cups again. Very similar position, isn't it?
It is.
Now, just looking, because Lou's getting a lot of fives. She's got 3 5s already.
What's missing? Which five is
This is
missing?
the Pentacles. No, swords. 5 of swords are missing.
Okay.
And let's just see if they come out.
All right. So 5 of swords missing. Let's touch
Yeah.
that firstly. So if it's missing, that's the thought process,
Yeah.
right? And it's also the conflict. So because we pick and choose the conflict,
the
right?
battles we're going to.
Yeah, we need to pick and
Yeah.
choose those battles. So if that's missing, which is interesting because there's a lot of other battle cards here, let me tell you.
There is.
Yeah, yeah, interesting. So just to keep that in mind, it might be the thoughts around that.
Yeah.
So we start with the Emperor. So the Emperor again is that leadership and leaders being worried. I'm just going to go bigger picture before I bring it back in.
Yeah.
So leaders being worried and looking at things that have gone wrong, right? And as always, pointing the finger externally and blaming others instead of having a fucking good look at themselves. But anyway, that's what these cards are indicating. And then we have the Eight of Cups, where it's like, I'm not going to get caught up in this emotional bullshit anymore. I am not going to be fear-mongered. So I feel like the first couple of weeks of May, the first week anyway, is very much where leaders might be trying to, for whatever reason, that's their take on the world, that's what they're feeling, and trying to get us to look at the things that have gone wrong. But as a collective, we're going, no. So we've actually checked out and we're out of that.
Yeah.
It's then followed by the Wheel of Fortune. So we might start to see some karmic shit come about, which is interesting because the wheel literally is like the Wheel of Fortune being Wheel of Fate. So we might look at that. There's also followed immediately by that is the Fool. So the Fool is absolutely this brand new start. And we spoke about that in Trainer's cards as well. So there is this brand new start. And then there is this disconnect. I'm going to go bigger picture again from finance. So we might see some big changes in that sector. And then that's followed by the Two of Pentacles, which it might be where we're kind of shuffling from one system to another, if that makes sense. So there's something going on, I feel, financially in the first part of May, which is going to cause a lot of emotional distress. And up to you what you do. We can't control what we can't control. So feel into that for you from an emotional level, because remember, your emotion is what drives the force behind it, right? And we don't want to allow that emotion to shift our frequency, because it's a frequency that gets us what we want, right? So just be mindful of that in the first couple of months, because we don't want to be to and fro. May, then as we go into like the third week, it's we're not going to have all the information, and we're going to be spoken to about losses. So what the loss is, what's changed, all that. Please understand that we're not being given all the information yet. Some of that information will come in a bit later, right? Because that we then seem to have that following. And interesting, 5, 6, 7.
5, 6, 7.
Yeah, they're in a muddled order, but 5, 6, 7, which gives me the feeling that mid-May will be 1 step forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 3
Yeah.
steps back, right? Feels it's going to be a bit like that, but rightly or wrongly, we are moving in a new direction. So what might start out to appear at the beginning of the month to be a really shitty time where we're being asked to look at all the things that have gone wrong and a little bit of fear mongering going on, change in our financial
areas,
structures, maybe. There will be news that then comes in that leads us to a new shore. So there's definitely something new. And I've got to tell you, it's definitely something better.
Much better.
Much better, much calmer, much better. I feel there's going to be more room for growth here. And then there may be issues around the health system. Surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise.
So there may be some things around that, right? So that's my big picture take.
Exactly. Yeah.
If I bring it down to personal, just as in collective energy, without world stage stuff, then emotionally, 100% agree with what Tren said about hers. We are moving away from something.
Yeah.
We're making this decision where I don't want to feel that way anymore. I don't want to worry about that shit that I can't worry about anymore. It is time for me to move on. I'm not going to worry financially. I don't care if I'm not connected to that anymore. I'm definitely moving on. Yeah, it's all about moving on
It really is
from a
basically,
personal
it basically is
perspective.
very much moving on.
Yeah.
We are completely moving in a new direction, aren't we?
Absolutely. And the new direction, I feel like, is emotional firstly, and then it's about, so it's going to be about how we connect, right? How do we relate to each other? That's definitely being looked at. How do we relate to each other? How do we support each other? How can we change the way we're using our resources? That's the other thing that I'm seeing here. There might be a more shared resource thing happening. And then would need to be parameters set up around that, because I can see a few problems.
There's a few given, maybe people are taking more than they're giving.
Make no mistake.
It is leading to something.
Community, we are changing our direction completely, moving to a new shore and calming ourselves.
Very much calming ourselves.
Right.
And just seeing things, this whole new area, in a completely different perspective.
Yeah.
It's like
seeing it differently.
Completely differently. It's like we are taking the me out of it.
Yeah.
And going, how can everybody be benefited by things?
Yeah.
Not just me. Not just me. It's not about me as much.
Interesting because coming out of Aries, like the time of Aries was Aries is very much I, me. Interesting.
It is, isn't it?
Gemini is like we can look at.
Oh yeah, going into end of May is Gemini, isn't it? So we're going from Aries to
moving through that
Taurus into Gemini.
It's Taurus, is it? Because I'm like, what are we? Yeah, it would be Taurus. Yeah, I'm like, what are we? Taurus. Yeah, why do I think Gemini? Sorry, guys. Yeah,
Gemini towards the end of the month, but
so Taurus.
Into Taurus.
And see, Taurus is about our resources and the earthly connections and all of that stuff, right? So
more homely, isn't it?
Well, yeah, and we've got to be careful of addictions with Taurus. But anything to do with our material stuff and our wealth, right? Because Taurus wants us to have those things, right? So interesting. So that's makes sense now why there's going to be talk around that. I hope this. Have I baffled? Have I waffled? You know, like that's how I'm seeing that anyway.
But basically, with both of us, bring on the end of May for both of us.
Bring on the end of May. So that is our collective reading and our worldly reading for
the month of May, 2025.
2025. Hope you enjoyed that, guys.
And please, we thank you so much for supporting us.
Absolutely.
And sharing and liking and subscribing and all the things. We are so appreciative of everything you give us. And we love doing this.
We do love doing it.
We will catch you next week.
We will. Big love from our heart.
See you later.
Bye.